Basketball direct from Cougar Arena on the campus of Kalamazoo Valley Community College. The final game of the regular season with the Jayhawks of Muskegon shapes up to be a big one. If the Cougars beat Muskegon, they will do no worse than finish in a tie for the conference championship and have the top seed in the regional tournament from the Western Conference. If the Jayhawks win, the Cougars will finish in either second or third place, depending on the outcome of the Glen Oaks-Lansing game. Hi, I'm Dave Hauser, and along with Gordon Miller, we'll be describing tonight's game. Our technical wizard, Tom Carson, is ready to follow the action, so let's go directly now to the final game of the season. The first half of the league season.
That's right. It was the Cougars played, they lost by 2. They had the ball at the end. They lose 85-87. The Cougar, one thing which is bad for the Cougars is that they're coming off a very poor shooting game at Grand Rapids. They had a chance to clinch a tie on Wednesday night for the league championship, and their shooting was really flat on.
Well, their shooting was right on last Saturday, so maybe we can recapture some of that momentum from last weekend.
Well, the Cougars also had a flat game at Lake Michigan about 10 games ago, but they shot 34% from the field.
All right, well, we're underway, and the tip belongs to the Cougars as Larry Weller comes out of the pack and then has it stripped by Canoose, and Canoose drives and feeds. It's knocked out of bounds, and
that was good play by Ricky Schultz. He got in
Schultz
there.
Knocked it loose. Bilal Muhammad recovered. Larry Weller to the basket. So frantic first 20 seconds results in a basket for the Cougars and the first lead of the ball game. Burrell fires from 15 off the mark. Bilal Muhammad with a rebound.
Dave, I may give a little statistical introduction to these Muskegon players as we go along.
Inside to Gibson. Andre starts a drive and kicks it out to Larry Weller.
Now, one thing we did do in the game on Wednesday night, we did not do, and I'm sure Coach Schultz has talked to him about it, is Andre Gibson did not get the ball inside.
Well, we're down to about 6 seconds as Schultz drives, has it stripped, and number 43, Pravoski, comes up with it. Shot by Vines off the mark. Gibson with a rebound. Ricky Schultz wide open, goes in for the easy one. Great outlet pass by Gibson.
Quite a few of the Schultz family here tonight.
Yeah, there's about 20 of them.
Canoose with the ball there is the leading assist man in the league, Dave, at 8.
Okay. Well, he's off the mark with that shot, and we've got a save by Ricky Schultz to Arthur Price, and a foul by Canoose. So the Cougars are up 4-0. With 18:08 on the clock, they'll have a chance to increase their lead.
Dave, that national anthem was sung by James McDuffie, who's does that about once a year. As I say, it's a fitting opening for a championship game to have him sing, and he does such a nice job with that.
Gibson in close off the rim, and a tip. Cougars battle and recovered. Muhammad on the drive, doesn't get it, and it's loose again. Muhammad recovers to Ricky Schultz for 3. Get it! Cougars off to a 7-point lead with 17:32 on the clock. Emotional game for some Cougars tonight. Of course, Ricky Schultz, who essentially grew up in this gym. This is his last regular season home game at Kalamazoo Valley. We've got a timeout on the floor. The Cougars up 7-0.
Now we're going to run Dayton, okay? Take. Go back to weave after that, okay? Take weave out of Dayton, and the next time down, run Dayton one time. We'll do one time right here, okay? Keep getting around him. Okay, solid D is where it's at, man. Solid D is where you got when he comes off that.
The microphone at the coach right now. But Gordon, we've got some sophomores on this team, and not only Ricky Schultz, but Andre Gibson, and even though Bilal Muhammad is his first year at Kalamazoo Valley, he played a year at Grand Rapids, so he is done with junior college ball. Ricky Schultz left open, gets it.
He got 7 early points here. He's
7 of the Cougars 9 with 17 minutes left to go in the first half. There we've got a foul on Gibson. Vines will go to the line for 2.
Dave, the Cougars have had have not shot great from the free throw line this year, and Muskegon is the exact opposite. They're a 72% team as a line. The Cougars shot about 50% in that first game, and it essentially cost them the game. So.
Well, I'll tell you, the Cougars are 68.8 in league play, so they're not too far behind.
No, yeah, they've picked it up. 72 these days is a really good percentage for a team.
Yep. Caduce drives to the basket, doesn't get it. We've got a tip by number 35, Vines. Arthur Price in a hurry. 9-4, Cougars up by 5 points with 16:25 on the clock. As Price fires from three-point range, it's perfect.
Well, we suffered with cold shooting on Wednesday night, and that does not seem to be a problem here.
Well, again, this is a court that they're very familiar with. And we've got a blocking foul, I believe, on Price. Cougars 12. The Muskegon Jayhawks 4 with 16:01 left to play in this first half. And Pater tries a behind the back pass. It went off Muhammad out of bounds, and I believe it may have even gone off Gibson, who had fallen down. And we got a push foul called on Vines, who pushed the defender out of the way, but got charged with a foul. Both teams with 2 team fouls right now. Good crowd on hand to watch this game on a Friday night. I was a little concerned that people might not know about this game, Gordon, as Ricky Schultz just got his 10th point. This is the only Friday night game I think we played this year.
Yes, we played very few in the last years.
Ooh, Gibson got his 2nd foul right there, and that is not a good situation.
We're off to a great start, but except for Gibson's fouls.
We have been very fortunate this year not to have to deal with a lot of foul trouble.
Yeah, you were talking about the Friday night not having many games. It could interfere. There's 2 fine high school games going on. Loy Norrick's playing Madawan, Kalamazoo Central at Portage Central. And
knocked out of bounds by Canuce. Well, leaving Gibson in with 2 personal fouls here in the first 5 minutes is a gamble. We'll see if it pays off for the Cougars. Larry Weller from 15 off the rim, and Bilal Muhammad battling for the ball. And we've got 2 players tangled up, Muhammad and 33.
Eddie Ward.
Eddie Ward has just checked into the game.
I think Andre Gibson's got a sub. Larry Weller gets the steal there.
Yeah. Good defensive play. Cougars up by 11 right now, 15-4, as we try to push it inside, and it's knocked away by Burrell. Canoose with the ball. The lob is knocked loose, but Muskegon's going to recover that. Pravoski to Burrell. 14 seconds on the shot clock as Burrell fires and scores from 17 feet.
Burrell is their leading scorer, Dave. He's averaging 22 a game.
I believe he had a big game the first matchup against the Cougars. As
Burrell's also the leading rebounder in the league at 12 a game.
Schultz from long range. Ricky, 3 out of 3 from three-point range. He's got 13 points here in the first 6 minutes and 10 seconds of the game. Ward for 3. 18-9. Cougars have a 9-point advantage. Setting up the double pick for Schultz. Well, I know the coach just took a deep breath there because Andre Gibson was
in the contact.
But he was not charged with a foul. He was the recipient of the foul as David Stevens, Brent Jamison, and Gerald Fletcher check into the game. And Gordon, we were wondering when we got the new announcer if he would feel comfortable. I think he's comfortable.
Yes, I've mentioned it a few times, but Vladi Temelkovsky does, I think, a really nice job. He's enthusiastic. Little discussion at the scorer's table. I'm not sure what that was about. Maybe quite often it's sorting through who gets the foul.
Well, the foul's been charged to Ward. Brent Jamison for 3. Doesn't get it. And David Stevens comes away with it and has it partially blocked, gets the rebound, scores. Well, it wasn't pretty, Gordon, but it was a lot of hustle. Burrell has a block. This time he's fouled by Weller, and he still makes it. Well, no, they called it on Gerald Fletcher.
Basket is good. Foul by number 11, Gerald G.M. Fletcher. Puts Burrell on for an extra point.
Burrell gets to the line a lot, and he's a 68% free throw shooter. Even better tonight.
10-point lead for the Cougars as Brent Jamison drives the layup.
The Cougars have a lot of momentum here, Dave. They're freewheeling it here right now.
Ward looked like he traveled.
He had it knocked away. Referees ruled implicitly that he had lost the ball.
Blocked by Fletcher. Weller comes away with it. David Stevens calling for the ball. Now comes out. Gerald Fletcher has it blocked, but he's fouled.
He's going to get 3 here.
Foul number 33, Eddie Ward. That's his second with Gerald G.M. Fletcher on the line for 3.
Timeout on the floor with the Cougars up by 10. 12-27 in the first half.
Good job, G. Knocking it down.
I think, Coach, what's he been told to do? Guard, you're 23 feet away and he's jumping when you're clear out. Pump fake and go around. Pump fake and go around and close. Use that just like we do in that drill. Pump fake and you still get into the three-point arc and take a 3. All right, we're going to run motion, 10, 2, and 5, and we're going to run reds now. Reds are for David and for him. Now, let's don't even call it. Just go down the floor and do it. If he comes to your side, you're the guy going. He starts on your side. Set good screens, and then off of that, look inside, down inside, hang on to it now. When Burrell gets it down low, man, we got to collapse. We got to make him give it out of there. And then get a hold of it. Look, we can get a fast break going the other way. Good control taking it to the hole that time. Solid D, yes, sir.
Coach Gifford spent the first 30 seconds of that timeout lobbying with the officials, having a little discussion. I'm not sure what he was, if he was unhappy about one particular call or the way things are being called in general, but he spent some time talking.
And Gerald Fletcher at the line, we'll see here. Gerald Fletcher about
70%
in conference play, 70% overall?
Yes.
Okay. Gordon has the overall stats. I've got the conference stats tonight. So, well, the first one's down. That's always a good feeling. Second one's even more perfect. What's the percentages here on this third one, Gordon?
This one's going in.
Okay, it's going
Not
down.
a matter of percentages.
Oops. Well, it was 2 out of 3, which is almost 70%. Number 11, Nash Pater with his first basket.
Muskegon spreads their points around. Peters averages about 14, Burrell 22, Vines and Pravaski at 13. So they have 4 guys in double figures.
Man-to-man defense for Muskegon. Cougars trying to push it inside. Jamison to Stevens for 3. Got it. Cougars very effective tonight from 3-point range.
Tonight, they had 9 threes out of 42 in that first game. The Cougars did, so they were about around 20% or under.
They've got 5 out of about 7 or 8 attempts, I would say, in the first half.
Their shooting is a big
Oh,
difference.
nice pass, and Canoes couldn't execute the layup, but Cougars come out with the ball. And Larry Waller. Oh, I thought he was going to shoot a 3, but
Yeah, he had a nice
backed away
opening
from
there.
it. Fletcher kind of lost his balance. David Stevens working hard and saves it for the Cougars.
And back in the game for the Cougars, number 13.
Schedule-wise, the Cougars, if they lose, will host a game here on Monday. If they win, they'll host a game on Wednesday.
Well, that's not necessarily true, Gordon. If they lose, they could still get second place.
You're
If
right about that.
Lansing does not beat
You're
Glen
right.
Oaks. So
That's on a pretty
bottom
big
line is the equation is to win tonight.
to
and
win and
that,
rest until Wednesday.
There you go. .46 left to play in the first half. The Cougars up by 11, 25-14. Pater, long range, got it. But Muskegon is not going to go away here, at least
Some
without a big
officials.
fight.
It's an official discussion about whether the scoreboard was right.
Oh, okay.
And it was.
That guy's had a lot of experience down on the scoreboard.
Yes, Greg Anderson's done these games for going on 15 years or something.
Gibson driving to the basket, he scores. Andre did a good job of not not charging into his defender there as he stopped with the jumper.
He cannot afford a third one.
Burrell long range, and there he finds the bottom of the net. 27-20, the Cougars up by 7. 9:55 left to play, and this game on a pace to be pretty high scoring. Gerald Fletcher. It's raining threes, Gordon.
Yes, it is.
41 into the game for Muskegon is Adam Mickler. And 55 is Nick Predko. As the Cougars attack. Bilal Muhammad has it knocked out of his hand, and the Cougar, well, it was knocked out of his hand, but it bounced off of Bilal to go out of bounds.
And back in the game for the Cougars, number 15, Arthur Price.
Arthur Price returns to the game. Cougars up by 10. Mickler with the ball. We got a foul on Arthur Price before the shot.
Saved the basket.
15 foul on the Cougars.
Foul on number 15, Arthur Price. That's his second, team fifth.
Burrell doesn't get it. He looked like he had a pretty good push there by David Stevens.
That's where we want the ball right there.
Well, Andre Gibson gave a push to Redco, and
He uses the big body there.
well, that time he used the ball and just pushed him right in the stomach. That was kind of interesting shot. There, number 41, Mickler. So Jayhawks have a lot of offensive weapons too, as the Cougars up by 10. He Gibson in close. That's where we wanted. Although he didn't get the reverse layup, he'll be at the line for two.
That's my favorite right there. The
61.4%
Foul number 55, Frecko.
from the free throw line for Andre in league competition. Scores his 5th point from the line. Larry Weller comes back into the game. Andre Gibson looking good from the free throw line. He's got 6 points. Cougars up by 12. Pater working on Schultz. Pater forces it, doesn't get it. Bilal Muhammad comes up with the ball. We got 3 on 2, and a good fall by Gibson. Andre Gibson running that floor and gets a basket.
there were a horde of Cougars running there that
Mickler from long range is short, ball's loose, and no, that was Vines. He gave a pass on the floor, from the floor to Pravdo, and he put it right in. That one off the mark from 3-point range. Cougars up by 12, 7:18 left to play in the first half. Pater short, but Burrell underneath and doesn't get it. May have been fouled by Weller. He gets it.
good
Off
left
contact
hand.
under there.
Good left hand by Burrell.
Yeah, tough shot. And Mickler with the steal. A pass a little bit too much on the telegraph there. Ten-point lead for the Cougars. Prodko. Back to Pater. Burrell.
15 on the shot clock.
Burrell again doesn't get it, but we've got a held ball as Mickler and Price are tied up. Number 25 is Adam Sawyers. Sawyer drives. There's that third foul. Wasn't much of one.
Sawyer's kind of leaned in.
And coach not happy about that, as he doesn't think it was much of a foul, but I think if he watches that on the replay, it appeared as if Andre did lean into him, and he was charged with a foul. It's third. David Stevens re-enters the game. We're going to have a timeout on the floor. Cougars up by 9, 6:14 left to play in the first half.
And we got a full timeout call by the Cougars.
Play with that many. Okay. Okay. On offense now. We're coming down the floor. This is very critical in this stretch now that we set good screens. Okay, we're going to come right down the floor in motion, and we're going to go for 10-2 and 10-5. Okay, you playing 5. Playing 5. Get your feet set, but let's make good cuts. We got to drive it to the hole a little bit now. Penetrate to the basket. Make sure you got time. But men, they're scoring too many easy ones on us. We got to get challenged. You got to keep digging. You got to collapse a little bit more. You can't collapse off of Pater though. You got to stay up on him. And when the guards try to drive, step in there and help. Okay, you stay on Vine for a couple more minutes here. We may have to switch you back to Pater. Okay, stay on him for right now. All right. We can't have a soft. We're going to be solid all the way through the game, and this solid now. Motion 10, 2, and 5. Let's.
Dave, things are going well on the offensive end. We're headed towards 50 points here in the first half.
Well, they've been going a little slower here the last 5 minutes. We got off to a really good start. Ricky Schultz had 13 points in the first 4 minutes, and he's been quiet ever since. But Gibson started to pick up the slack. He's got 8. David Stevens and Gerald Fletcher both with 5. So we've had a lot of scoring, but in the last few minutes, it's at a slower pace.
We got to watch. That Bynes is a good shooter from the outside, Dave. Number 35. He's averaging. He shoots 45% from three-point range.
Sawyers makes that shot. And now the lead's down to 8. Stevens for three-point range. Got it. David Stevens hits a big shot, and that puts the Cougars up by 11. There's a moving into the player. Well, they called it traveling. I thought they were going to call a foul at first, but Vines was charged with a travel. 5:39 left to play in this first half. Cougars with an 11-point lead. Stevens with a hot hand. Flops from 15. Got it. 10 points for David Stevens. And he has picked up this offensive slack here in the last few minutes. Oh, good work by David Stevens as he knocked it away. Canuce and Burrell come back to the game as Muskegon continues to shuffle their players in and out. Brent Jameson comes in for Arthur Price. Ball is loose, and we've got an over and back by number 43, Pravaski.
He had control of it in this half, and then his momentum carried him into the other end, across the line.
Well, of all the people you'd expect, the least one would be the center picking the ball off on a long pass on an inbounds.
Yeah.
Larry Weller gets it inside, spins, fires, and scores!
Muskegon has good size. Pravaski is 6'9", Predko's 6'11" inside.
Oh, nice feed to Burrell. Doesn't get the shot, but he does get a foul by Weller. Cougars up by 15 right now. Burrell at the line for 2.
Muskegon has the two big guys, 6'9", 6'11". Their leading rebounder, and the leading rebounder in the league is Burrell, who's considerably smaller. He's not small because he goes 6'5", but he's just got a lot of quickness. Scores 22 points a game, leading rebounder in the league at 12, shoots over 50% from the field.
Gerald Fletcher comes back into the game. Cougars working hard on defense, have done a pretty nice job against a very high-scoring team here. It's one thing to hold a high-scoring team down, but another to be able to score on top of it. As Muskegon moves into a 2-3 zone. Bilal Muhammad, a little strong with that shot. Ball's loose, and David Stevens recovers, has it knocked out of bounds, and then saves it off a Muskegon player.
Back in the game, Ricky Schultz.
Stevens for 3, no. And Sawyers with the rebound. Canoes.
You saw that substitution where Ricky Schultz comes back in. I believe that's to take advantage of that zone in case they stay in the zone.
Ricky Schultz working hard for the rebound and gets it, and he's fouled. Brabowski with the foul. Cougars up by 13 with exactly 4 minutes left to play in the first half. Again, this game has a lot riding on it. The winner finishes in first place in the conference.
Either by themselves or
with company.
Yes.
Well, Muhammad dribbled into traffic there, and the ball is stolen by Muskegon. Burrell was open, and nobody saw him for a while, and the ball gets knocked out of bounds.
Ricky Schultz saved a basket there.
Vines checks back into the game.
Good jump there by David Stevens.
We miss Gibson underneath right now on those rebounds. We are battling some bigger players, and we got a foul on the play. Foul on Stevens.
Foul number 35, David Stevens.
And to counteract that height difference, we're going to send in the man that can sky, Mo Kane.
Now in the game, the Skywalker, Mohammed Kane.
I like Vladdy's introduction there, Dave. If I'm playing in this game, I never like to hear the guy that's coming in being introduced as the Skywalker if I've got to mark him.
Well, he does his job. He gets the rebound off the missed free throw, and now the Cougars will be on the attack. Ball is loose and out of bounds off of Muskegon. Tyler Jagger.
Willie Burrell is arguing about that call, but I know how it's going to turn out. It's going to be Cougar ball.
Stevens fires, got it! Dave Stevens with 13 points. Cougars go up by 16. Brent Jamison checks back into the game. Timeout on the floor. Cougars up by 16 with 2:17 left to play.
30 seconds, timeout, goal by the Jayhawks.
Gary Pullman checks into the game, number 15 for Muskegon.
We've talked a little bit about the schedule. Again, if the Cougars win, they will host a game on Wednesday night. They'll get a bye on Monday. If they lose, it depends on what happens in the other game. If they lose, they may host a game on Monday or they'll host a game on Wednesday. Beyond then, the state tournament continues through March 1st. So we'll have a series of games. Those games, the finals, semifinals and finals will be at Muskegon. The next week, the Cougars go into the national tournament. You of course start at the regional level. Those games are played at Mott. The national tournament is played in Danville, Illinois. That'll go on in the first couple of weeks or second couple of weeks of March.
Well, they've divided the region up differently this year, and it really gives us a decent shot at making the nationals. So let's see what we can do here as Brent Jamison kicks it out to Gerald Fletcher, who fires for three, this time off the mark. And the ball's loose and still loose, and now Muskegon. Canoose with the ball, and
Dave, you were talking about the redrawing of the regional. Is Ohio out of our region then? Is that what you're saying?
yes. We have two districts, and then the winners of the two districts go to the nationals. Well, the Cougars win that scrum there, and now they have another chance to add on to that 16-point lead. Muskegon back into a man-to-man defense. Cougars trying to milk the clock a little bit. We're down to about 16 seconds on the shot clock, a minute 20. As Brent Jamison forces it, Mulcahy gets a rebound. Jagger in traffic, doesn't get it, and now Muskegon comes out with it. And we got a holding foul on Brent Jamison. And that sends Canoose to the line for 1-on-1. That's our 9th team foul.
Canoose is a 64% shooter. He's an excellent ball handler. Leads the league in assists.
64% from the field?
Free throw.
Free throw.
line.
Okay.
He's not as strong a shooter as he is a ball handler.
Well, there, they get a long rebound. Canoose doesn't get it. Mulcahy with a rebound. Pops it out to Brent Jamison. And now we've got 45 seconds on the shot clock, 29 seconds on the shot clock, and about 40 seconds on the game clock. So the Cougars will wind down about 10 more seconds and then attack the basket.
Brent Jamison has made a few backdoor cuts to the basket, and he leaves Canoose when Canoose was giving him a little room. Now we are running into shot clock.
Fletcher forces it, and Pullman with a rebound. About 15 seconds left to play in this half. Muskegon will work for the last shot. Vine drives, and a block by Mulcahy. Jamison, there's still 1 second. Oh, we don't get it off in time. And the foul.
There was some contact
after,
there,
yeah.
but they ruled it was I think they ruled he was too far under.
Well, I think they had the rule. The buzzer went off before the contact. Doesn't matter where you are.
Yeah, that must be it.
But the Cougars are in a good spot with a 46-31 lead as they enter the second half of this game. Well, Gordon, stats support the Cougars ahead here by 15 as Muskegon was led by Burrell with 12, and Muskegon had 19 rebounds, but they only shot 32.3% as a team, and 3 out of 8 from three-point range. In contrast, the Cougars were led by Ricky Schultz and Dave Stevens with 13 points apiece. Andre Gibson with 8. The Cougars out-rebounded Muskegon by 4, 23-19. But the Cougars shot 48.6% from the field and 8 out of 14 from three-point range, plus 4 out of 5 from free throw line. So the Cougars shooting very well from all areas of the floor. And I would say playing good defense against a good shooting Muskegon team.
Yeah, the Cougars are a good shooting team there. They're shooting very well. They are coming off a poor shooting game on Wednesday night, and the Cougars also, Muskegon's a good shooting team, but they are not shooting very well tonight. They're shooting 48% on the year, about like the Cougars are, but they're doing very poorly right now.
Well, I think that you can attribute to the Cougar defense, and hopefully the Cougars can play 20 more minutes of defense like that to come up as the first place seed in the Western Conference.
Yeah, this is the game that'll decide that. If the Cougars win, they're going to have the number 1 seed, and they'll have a bye in the first round of the state tournament.
Well, we got almost the entire Schultz clan here tonight watching Ricky in his final home game of the regular season. Of course, this is the final home game of the regular season for Andre Gibson and Belial Muhammad, too, of their careers, I should say.
Yes.
Cougars ahead, 46-31. The second half is underway with Canoes.
Dave, did you make clear it was the final regular season home game? Because they will have another, they'll likely have another.
But that would be
game.
in playoffs.
In the playoffs.
In the
yeah.
state tournament. So they will at least have one more game here, but it will not be regular season, as Canoes is short with the shot. We got a foul called underneath by Belial Muhammad.
A couple of sophomores, Dave, I'm not sure you've mentioned. Our Wes Vandenberg is a sophomore. Mo Kane is a sophomore also.
All right, very.
Matt Dennis is a sophomore. Belial Muhammad, you've mentioned. Ricky Schultz, you've mentioned.
Yep. Belial Muhammad with a rebound. Arthur Price in a hurry. Gibson calling for the ball, but guarded closely there by Pravoski. Arthur Price for 3, got it, and then ungot
yes,
it.
He did, Dave.
Wow, I've never seen one go that far deep in and pop out. Burrell gets it in close and scores. "19 minutes left to play." Ricky Schultz getting a double pick. Moves in to about 15 feet, fires, doesn't get it. Gibson with the rebound is blocked by Pravoski. Held ball goes to the Cougars. Ball's into Gibson, it's knocked out of his hands. Gibson again with the ball. Jump hook, doesn't fall, and Pravoski with a rebound. Pravoski for 3, no, and we're going to have a foul on Ricky Schultz. 2 team fouls on the Cougars in the early going of the second half.
Pravoski, 6'9", shooting the 3 out there. They can use his help underneath.
Vines with the ball. Canoes looks inside. Now Pravoski has position and scores. Nice pass by Canoes. Like you mentioned, he's their leading assist person. 46-35, so the Cougars' 15-point margin is down to 11 as Muhammad drives and he's fouled. Foul by Pater. So the Cougars still looking for their first point in the second half, as Bilal Muhammad will have one more attempt. And that one falls through. Actually, that's Bilal's first point of the game, Gordon. That's a little unusual. He's usually got about 5 or 6 at this point. But Pater from 3, and boy,
That was a nice
Muskegon
move
coming
there.
back. The lead down to 9, 47-38. Lots of time left to play. Oh, nice pass to Gibson. Bilal Muhammad with a great pass to Andre Gibson. Knocked away by Ricky Schultz, and Pater gets it, and then Canoose recovers. Vines from 15, no, and the ball's loose, and it goes to Muskegon. 11-point lead for the Cougars.
I respectfully disagree with that call, Dave.
Well, I don't know how Vines saw that ball coming. He looked like he was screened by 2 people, but he caught it. Canoose drives and kicks it out to Vines from 3-point range. Got it. 49-41, an 8-point lead, and now we've got a timeout on the floor with 16:53 left to play. KVCC 49, Muskegon Jayhawks 41. And I guess we have no coach, Gordon, so...
Yes, no, Mike. The Cougars have a 16-point halftime lead.
15.
15-point halftime lead that's melted in half here in the first 3 minutes of the second half. I don't think we're playing that badly. I think we got some bad results. We had a couple of balls get knocked out of bounds off of us. We got the ball inside to Andre Gibson. He scored that last one, but he didn't score a few of those. So I really, we need to change the momentum here, but particularly offensively, I thought what we were doing was working as it was.
Well, Muskegon is in a man-to-man defense. We'll see if they change, because it's been kind of a pattern. If you have success to keep one step ahead of your opponent, you may make an adjustment because you're thinking, well, they're making an adjustment. So,
yes.
But we'll see. Price with the ball, looking inside. Back out to Schultz.
Again,
Gibson.
in that halftime, we made.
Gibson with a fadeaway.
In that
That's kind of,
I think that's what they talked about, is getting the ball inside the.
I think
Andre.
that's the first fadeaway I've seen him shoot this year. And again, with a 6'9" defender, you do some different things. Pater has it knocked loose. Gibson goes to the basket, and he scores, and he's fouled. As Vines did not get down to that spot soon enough, and boy, had he, that would have been a mess.
That was bad judgment on Vines' part. You should not try to stop that play.
Well, no, I think it was good judgment to get down there. It was just bad judgment to kind of go half-heartedly. Weller gets loose, and he's fouled.
I disagree with you, Dave.
Okay.
When Andre Gibson's going at close to full speed, it's just a bad idea to try to stop that. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
The truck may be wrong, but you're still going to get run over.
Yeah.
You yield right away to the truck.
Well, that being as it may, we have a 12-point lead with Larry Weller at the line. And now it's a 13-point lead.
That's one of those things that you see on the on a gravestone. It's it's that last words. The truck was wrong, or Andre Gibson got the foul.
Larry Weller makes both free throws, and now the lead is back up to 14. So that timeout was very well spent here about a minute ago, as the Cougars come back to score several points in a row. Pater has started to find the range. And you hate those three-pointers when you got a lead because they really...
Muskegon's not going to stop. You don't win 20 games without some persistence.
There, a double on Gibson, knocked away, out of bounds by Pater. 15:48 left to play. It's 55-43 in favor of the Cougars. Cougars started this half. There's another three by Ricky. The Cougars started this half up by 15 and lost that lead to 8. Now it's back to 15 with that last three-pointer by Ricky Schultz. And Bilal Muhammad comes up with a loose ball to Schultz, and he's fouled on the play. Canoose questioning the call. We've got timeout, and the Cougars are on a roll here as they've scored about 8 straight to regain that 15-point margin.
The other thing here, Dave, is we got Ricky Schultz at the line, who's a really good free throw shooter. So he's in the top 5 in the league, shoots 86%. Dave, I think is this going to be your last game of the year?
It could be the last game, period, Gordon. This is my swan song, I think.
Okay, we have. We've done.
It's been a lot of years here, 18 years, and a lot of fun.
It has been. It's been enjoyable all of those years.
Yes, it has. We remember when Ricky was the size of some of these little Schultzes out here, just walking on the floor.
What'd you say? It's 18 years. So
yeah.
Ricky Schultz must have just been born when we started doing.
That's about right. About a year old, I think.
Yeah. So.
15:21 left to play, and a great game for the Cougars if they can hold on to this lead, because it means a league championship.
Well, Dave, I wish I'd have known that. I'd have brought you a cake tonight.
No. Well,
I'd have baked you a cake.
Let's just say
I'd have baked you one.
We started with very little fanfare, and that's the way we'd like to finish up.
Yeah.
Ricky Schultz.
Myself, I'm interested in a lot of publicity, so, you and I are different that way.
Perfect from the line. 18 points for Ricky, and again, he had 13 in the first 4 minutes of the game, and now he's got 5 more in about the last minute. Pravoski with another three-point attempt, and Pater, who's been hot, finds another one. 60-46, the lead back to 16. Bilal Muhammad takes the ball to the basket, and he's fouled from behind by Pater.
Muskegon's getting in a little foul trouble here. That's 5th personal in this half. 2 more and the Cougars will shoot the bonus. We get a fresh 35.
Yep.
60-46, 14:46 to go in the game.
Oh, nice pass to Muhammad. Cutting across the lane, is pressured on the shot. Burrell with the rebound, and now Mickler with the ball. Mickler fires from three-point range, and boy.
Muskegon's on a little streak. It's a lucky thing the Cougars are shooting as well as they are.
Well, we had it up to about 19 points, and now it's down to 11, and really quick. Ricky drives and checked there by Pravoski. In the Gibson, mismatch, and this time Larry Weller gets the rebound to Schultz, who's open, this time off the back of the rim, but Bilal Muhammad with the rebound. Gibson, fade away from 15, Andre Gibson. He's got 16 points, and he's been hot here in the second half. Pater, this time off the back of the rim, and Schultz with a long rebound. We've got numbers if we can get down there. Inside to Weller. Weller drives, spins, pops, and it spins out.
It's a nice move.
Yeah, he got loose there in traffic. Mickler may have walked. Ball's knocked loose, and we've got kind of an errant home run pass, and now Schultz for three. Ricky lighting it up tonight.
That's a nice play there. That one,
his fifth three-pointer of the night.
you've got an open three, but you've got a 2-on-1. Usually the ones near the basket are a little simpler, but Ricky made the right choice, obviously.
Cougars come up with a loose ball. Bilal Muhammad on the attack. The lead is back to 16 as it's inside to Larry Weller, who's checked by Burrell. Larry spins, jump hooks, and he's fouled.
Weller is a 65% free throw shooter.
Gerald Fletcher, David Stevens, and Brent Jameson at the scorer's table. Larry Weller makes that first one.
We've mentioned the sophomores, Dave. It's a nice way for these guys to finish up.
Redco and Ward in for Muskegon.
Or so it would seem so far.
David Stevens with the rebound. Kicks it out to Fletcher. And nearly stolen, but then recovered by Brent Jameson. And we've got a lot of time on the shot clock, so there's no hurry to fire one. But that doesn't stop David Stevens. And he fires it, and it's a little short. And now Ward comes up with it. Burrell from 15 doesn't get it, and there we got a foul on Fletcher. Third team foul on the Cougars with 12:01 left to play. The Cougars up 66-49. And there, it looked like it went off Mickler's hands, but it was assessed that went off Brent Jameson's fingers.
Sure did look that way. A good defense all around. They were having a hard time getting that ball in bounds.
Well, there's a mismatch. Brent Jameson on Predko. Predko gets it back, and he's fouled by Bilal Muhammad. He'll go to the line for one more. Predko at 6'11", 220 pounds from Muskegon Mona Shores. Several Muskegon players are homegrown, Gordon. Muskegon Heights, Muskegon Mona Shores, 3 of them. 2 of them from Muskegon Heights. Burrell, there's a 4-point play as baskets by Predko and Burrell eat into that lead, and it's down to 13. Wow. I think we got a foul on David Stevens because it didn't look like he was set. I know coach is not going to be happy with it. But both players were moving, and one was trying to pick, and if one's moving when you're trying to pick, they're going to call it on the pick.
Yes.
Ward to Pater, and Pater just sort of threw it behind his head with no one there, and Muskegon managed to recover. Burrell from 17 feet bounces around, falls out, and Fletcher with the rebound. We've got 3-on-3 right now. David Stevens calling for the ball on the other side, but Bilal Muhammad with the shot. Weller gets the rebound, kicks it out to Fletcher. Inside to Bilal Muhammad. He's fouled by Pater.
Well, Dave, I have to ask this, being your last game, this isn't a contract dispute, is it?
No, nothing to do with that.
It's not a salary cap problem?
No. No, it's just time to move on.
Okay. Is it something Tom said to you, the cameraman?
Yeah.
I'm a little like an investigative reporter, and as an attorney, I'm used to questioning people about these things.
Well, I tell
I'm
you,
a
Gordon,
regular Barbara Walters.
Yeah,
you know,
there's
when it
not
comes-
much of a story here. Just
Okay.
time to get involved in some other things. 2 for 2 for Bilal Muhammad. Brings the lead
Wait.
back to 15.
When you say that, Dave, it makes me think that you get another offer someplace. You gonna be doing cable TV in Grand Rapids or something?
The request I have get are just not
They
to
don't
do any
involve continuing work.
do not involve continuing in this moonlighting here. No, it's been fun. 10:35 left to play. And a zone defense by Muskegon. Stevens open from the corner. It falls in. David Stevens with his 4th 3. And he's got 16 points on the evening. And Muskegon gets it right back. Ward. 10 minutes left to play. Fletcher from 15 in. Cougars up by 18. I tell you, the fresh legs are making it difficult for Muskegon to get shots.
Brent Jamison there.
But they are hitting them when they do get them. Fletcher from long range. Boy, I tell you, it's been nice these last couple of home games to have Gerald Fletcher and David Stevens come in and just light it up. Burrell underneath scores in traffic. And we got a timeout on the floor. Cougars 76, Muskegon 60 with 8:34 left to play. And it looks like we're getting Andre Gibson back into this game.
Well, we don't have the coach's mic on here, Dave. Muskegon, they had to call that timeout. They've expended a lot of energy here in the last 5 minutes trying to cut into that lead. They really haven't made much of a dent on the lead, and they've used some energy. It's the clock is really working against them here in these last 8 minutes.
And we've been able to rest some people while we've been able to maintain the lead, so that's been a very positive situation.
Andre's down low. Okay, if they stay in that zone, now they're going to go to some kind of press or 1-3-1 half court.
Well, we're trying to get coaches, Mike. It just
Either
goes
that
in and
or
out.
we've got a signal from Mickey Mouse there or something. It's kind of going in and out. We've seen the what we might see is a little pressure here. Not on this time. Well, maybe it is on this time. We may start seeing some full court pressure.
$8:30 left to play now. Sawyer's in now for Muskegon as David Stevens. created some offense. 18 points for David. Foul on Gerald Fletcher.
On the floor.
Cougars now with 16 fouls, and Muskegon with 7. Third foul on Gerald Fletcher. Well, that's going to be the fourth foul on Gerald Fletcher. Again, Gerald can play very aggressively because he's just splitting time there with Ricky Schultz. And now Ricky is going to come back into the game. But Gerald has 10 points on the evening and just did a nice job there for the Cougars.
Gerald's a freshman, so he'll be back next year. Freshman from Toledo.
Cougars handle that pressure.
Andre wants that ball inside. It's first
Well,
time.
he had a mismatch there. Stevens is fouled on that three-point attempt. Andre Gibson had a mismatch. He was guarded by Sawyers, and Provoski had switched to guard Stevens.
It's funny, Sawyers is listed at 6'6". You don't normally think of that as a mismatch, but,
Well,
but Andre's got so much bulk on him that
Sawyers listed 190 pounds, and that's a little different from the 220 or 215 of Provoski.
David Stevens is 77% free throw shooter.
78-62, Cougars up by 16 with 7:44 left to play. He gets them both. 20 points for David Stevens. We got a foul on Brent Jamison. Arthur Price comes back into the game.
18 fouls for both teams. We'll see some free throw shooting here at the end. Muskegon is a very good free throw shooting team. 72% from the line.
Well, they got the ball on the floor. Sawyers has got it right now, but now we have a held ball.
Possession arrow favors Muskegon.
Mickler short with that shot as he had to rush it a little bit with the defense. Oh my word. Gibson was all tangled up in people and did his best to put the ball on the floor, and they called traveling. And now we've got a little discussion between one of the referees and Coach Schultz.
Don't want to pick up any technical.
No, we don't want a
at the end of
technical
this
right
game.
now. David Stevens steals the inbounds pass and gives it to Ricky Schultz, who sees the lane to the basket. Tries to make a great pass, and Vines got in the way of that pass. Now the Cougars in heavy traffic. They have a 15-point lead with 7 minutes left. It's time to make good shot selections. They want to work a little bit of the clock, but not at the expense of getting out of your offensive rhythm, as David Stevens is still in his rhythm.
That's what you're talking about.
I got 23 points for David Stevens. Mickler from 15, tipped by Vines, and he gets the basket and he's fouled. Foul on David Stevens.
Good. Foul on number 35, David Stevens. Foul number 3, team foul number 9.
And Vines completes that three-point play. Cougars up by 15 with 6:25 left to play. And they get the ball up the floor, and Muskegon drops into a man-to-man defense. Looking for Gibson. He gets the ball, and he's fouled from behind.
He will go to the line for 1 and 1.
Both teams with 9 team fouls, and Gibson will be at the line for 1 and 1. The next foul on either team will put them into the double bonus. When you think of it, Gordon, 18 years ago, there was no such thing as a shot clock, or a three-point line, or a double bonus. A lot of big changes.
We were all had a body fat under 20 at that point too.
What's that again?
I said we all had a body fat of under 20 at that point too.
Burrell with the ball. Well, Pravonsky continues to shoot those threes, and Gibson does check that pretty well, and Gibson doesn't get the basket, but he's fouled by Canoose. Well, there's a little unusual situation as Ricky Schultz throws a home run ball to Andre Gibson.
Yes, usually it goes the other way around. Dave, in those 18 years, if you look back at those early tapes, everybody was wearing short shorts. We went
White
through,
socks.
We went through a little phase there with probably a little after that, Patrick Ewing got started where everybody was wearing an undershirt under their short sleeve undershirt under their uniforms.
Yeah,
I think that got outlawed.
Patrick Ewing.
Yes. We used to see a few guys lick their hands and then their shoes because Larry Bird was around doing that.
Yeah.
So the mannerisms change, the clothes change, the style of play changes a little bit.
Burrell for three, and now Vines gets the rebound. He tries to pass it over, but it's stolen by the Cougars. And they want to attack here as Stevens for three. Got it! David Stevens, 26 points on the night, and he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 threes to lead the Cougars, who are up now by 22 with 5:14 left to play. Well, David Stevens is having a career night, and he couldn't find a better night to do it, Gordon.
Yes, this was the one. Again, it's been a great game. It was a great setup for tonight's game. Two teams that are going to win 20 games this year playing in this tournament. At first place at stake. The seeding in the state tournament. And Cougars lost. They had a little revenge on their mind. They were coming off a poor game, so it was questionable as to how they'd respond to that. And we've got a very nice answer.
Burrell with the shot. Lead back to 20, 89-69. Bilal Muhammad off the glass. He's got 5 points on the evening. Burrell for three. It's short. The ball is on the floor. Bilal Muhammad comes up with it. David Stevens will go for the jam. Nope. Actually, I thought he was going to jam it, but Ricky Schultz gets the rebound and gives a pass to Bilal Muhammad, who scores.
David Stevens wisely runs a little clock.
I think David Stevens may have turned his ankle there. He was limping down the floor. Pater, who's been quiet for a while, doesn't get the shot, and Gibson, working hard, is fouled by Pravoski. 4:02 left to play, and I think the Cougars have pretty much wrapped this one up.
Well, Dave, you were mentioning how we've done these games over 18 years. What's your most memorable game?
Oh, I think winning the first state tournament. That was exciting.
That's right. One that comes to mind for me was the 103-100 game where Kalamazoo beat Lansing.
Yeah.
Where Ed Finch hit a banked three.
Matt Dennis comes into the game for David Stevens, who's a little wobbly on that ankle. But 26 points for David Stevens. What a night. Gibson is racking them up now, too. He's 16, 18, 19, 20. He's got 22. Knocked out of bounds.
Well,
we've been fortunate enough to see some fabulous players over the years.
Yes.
The 30-1 team was lots of fun.
Yes. I was thinking about that too, Dave. Sort of a favorite player. You got like Brad Hill. He had He had a fabulous year, that 30-2 year.
Chucky Lewis, another one that just really could light things up.
Yes. And that first team from '87 had a lot of quality shooters there. Ed Finch could really put the ball in the hole. I played with Ed Finch in a City League game after that, where he set the City League scoring record, 72 points in an evening.
Yeah.
The team that we were on, we set a City League record, 144.
3:24 left. We're getting some more Cougars into the game. Ben Logan comes in for Ricky Schultz. What a great game by Ricky as he started things off with a bang here. 13 points in the first 4 minutes. Wes Vanderberg into the game, and Ben Logan. Cougars win this game tonight. 2 the free throws there by Bilal Muhammad, and will finish at least first, maybe all by themselves, depending on the outcome of the Lansing-Glen Oaks game. And ball knocked loose and recovered by Bilal Muhammad, and now Ben Logan with the ball to Wes Vanderberg, who drives, feeds Gibson, and there's 2 points. 99-71. Canoose puts it out to Pater, who fires from long range, and he's had a few threes. 99-74 with 2:48 left to play. And we're going to have a 30-second timeout so we can get Tyler Jigger and Mo Kane into this game.
And Muskegon is doing a line change here, 5 for 5.
Scott Hunter and Jason Korstands are 2 more names that
yes,
had a lot of great moments here at Cougar Arena.
Jason Korstand showed the value of a good point guard there, Dave. Sometimes now he had a lot of assists, but sometimes their stats aren't too great. But
he scored a lot of points in high school, and then took a different role on for the Cougars.
He distributed the ball so well.
Yep.
The names we're saying don't mean anything to the Cougar players here probably, because some of them weren't around here, and if they were too young to remember.
23 into the game is Tom Poe for Muskegon. Kerry Pullman, number 15, with that shot and the basket. And there's been some memorable coaches too. Gene Giffords and Glenn Metcalf have done the Muskegon team for a long time. They won a national championship one year.
Remember Ken Schuler?
Glen Oaks.
At Glen Oaks was there
Art
for a
Frank.
long time. Art Frank, and this league has a history of longevity for some of the.
Oh, Mo Kane cleaned the board on that one. Shot by Dennis is short, picked off by Pratko. Holman doesn't get that shot. Dennis has a rebound, but then has it stolen, and now Ben Logan comes up with a loose ball. And he has his pocket picked. Number 23 with that basket, Tom Poe, and we've got 48 seconds left. The Cougars stuck on 99, looking for 100. West Vandenberg to Kane, and he's fouled. Mo Kane will be at the line with 2 shots.
Dave, we've had some memorable performances by opposing players and some memorable players here. Unfortunately, after 18 years, they usually slip my mind here. Kevin Willis, before our time, played in this league.
Yeah.
And as I say, what was the guy's name out of Central Michigan who played at Lansing, is in the NBA now, the center. Can't think of.
Nate something.
Yep. Nate Huffman.
Huffman, there you go.
Nate Huffman is playing in the NBA.
Eric Mormon into the game now for the Cougars, as the Cougars get both free throws from Mo Kane.
We'll see a lot of Cougars go on to 4-year schools. We see a lot of opposing players go on too. Terrell Hightower, undoubtedly, from Glen Oaks, will play at a 4-year school. He put on a clinic here.
Well, I remember Chucky Lewis's brother, Danny, who played for Kellogg, finished his basketball career. I don't know, he might still be playing, but he was playing for a professional team in London, and I happened to watch the game one time. That was interesting.
Yeah. Mike Williams played in Europe also,
Yeah.
a Cougar player whose name is written into the record book. Brad Hill, who I mentioned earlier, played in Europe also.
West Vandenberg with one more free throw here. 15.8 seconds left. The Cougars 101-78. Got ahead early on, have managed to keep the lead the entire game. West Vandenberg with the free throw, 102-78. Mickler fires from three-point range and scores to cut into that lead. 102-81 with 7 seconds left. Matt Dennis with the ball. Tyler Yeager fires from long range and doesn't get it. Mormon gets the rebound, and that's going to do it. The Cougars are league champions, 102-81 over Muskegon.
Everybody don't forget, Cougars boys and girls ladies got a bye Monday. That means that
Okay, the Cougars are the champions of the Western Conference. We'll find out later on if they are champions or co-champions, but tonight they come up with a terrific effort to beat a very tough Muskegon team, 102-81. Muskegon was led by Burrell with 22, and Prater with 16, Mickler with 11, Vines with 10. For the Cougars, Dave Stevens with a hot hand late in the second half, and actually he was hot in the first half too with 25 points. Andre Gibson with 24 and Ricky Schultz with 21. Great ways to finish a regular season career here at the Cougar Arena. Gerald Fletcher with 10. The Cougars out-rebounded Muskegon 45 to 38, and the Cougars shot 50% versus a 39.5% effort by Muskegon. But Coach, I thought the difference in the game, oddly enough, was the Cougar defense. They came out and made it tough for Muskegon to score. When Muskegon got a good shot, they made it, but boy, they had to work for it.
They did. I'm so proud of these guys, Dave. The thrill of victory, the agony of defeat. We were so depressed after the way we played up at Grand Rapids on Wednesday, and they were just determined not to let that happen again. And when we play with a lot of emotion, which we didn't do Wednesday night, and the threes drop, there are reasons why shots don't go down, and I think it's because we just didn't have as much fire up there, and we had a chance to close out the championship up there and didn't get it done, so they were determined to not let the final home game get away from us. And I do agree with you. I think the defense early, which gave us the lead, was pretty good, and then they started raining in threes. They got some really good players. I mean, they are a very, very good basketball team, and for us to be able to hold them to 39%, I'm really thrilled about that. And then finally, we had a 50% game for us from the field and 58 from three-point range. And as we've said so many times, when those threes are falling, it just makes up for a whole lot of other mistakes that you make. And I'm proud of all of them. I'm proud of David. He played really hard. I hope he's going to be healthy. He needs these 2 days off now. He hurt his foot pretty good there, and I hope it's not an Achilles or something that's going to keep him out next week, because we need his offense off the bench.
Well, I mean, you had some early concerns because Andre Gibson had 2 quick fouls first 5 minutes. You decided to leave him in. He did all right, and then he came out, and then he came back in, and then a foul that was
cheap.
Not well.
It was a bump, I know, but boy, those are just killers. That's one reason why I think we ought to go to 6 fouls in college basketball, just because of that very thing that happened tonight. It's such a big game. It's a little tiny bump. There were a lot of bumps worse than that in the game. A lot of over the backs on rebounds and things that weren't called. I think the referees did a good job in the game, but that call is such a huge call in a game like this, because you can't leave him in there with 3 fouls in the first half. And fortunately, it worked out. We rested him. He played a little softer in the second half, at least defensively, and then really got after it on the boards.
David Stevens came in and really stepped the things up and created some offense. And Gerald Fletcher came in and helped with the offense. And they were working hard on defense, too.
Yeah, we knew we had to. I think we had a lot of respect for Muskegon scoring. We got them down up there, Dave. We were up 13 or 14 in the first half, and they just came roaring back in a stretch and just took us apart and ended up going up at halftime. And then they got up on us 8 or 10 in the second half, and we caught them at the end and had the shot down 2 with the buzzer, a 3-pointer by Belial that didn't go down. So we made a run at them there, but we had to play different because we were behind. And I think they're beginning to understand that, like when we lost to Glen Oaks, we got down. We got in the hole. The same thing happened at Grand Rapids. We were down big, and we had to go out and press, spread our defense out. People are quick, get through us.
But how great it is to put the other team in a hole early on, so then when things come up like this, you still have some cards to play.
I thought that's exactly what happened, and they changed their defenses. They had some trouble with their man-to-man stopping us, and then they went to the zone, and that gave us some more looks at threes. And the threes that we hit tonight came as a result of a lot better passing, I think, than what we had up at Grand Rapids, too. So that same David Stevens was 1 for 7 from 3-point range on Wednesday night, and then he steps up here and he's 6 for 8 tonight. What a great turnaround. And you know, those are the kinds of things. It's not important that you fall down. It's important that you get up, and these guys got back up and really did the job tonight. I'm really proud of them.
Had several league champions over the year, but this one was sweet tonight.
This one was very sweet. To see Ricky play well, and even as he starts to limp more and more in the second half, to see him have a good solid half. He got the ball down in there to Andre late when we needed it, and he knows what we need, and he's willing to do whatever it takes to win, and I'm really proud of him, as I am all the rest of the guys.
One play that sticks out in my mind was a defensive play where David Stevens missed a layup, and then Ricky battled to get the rebound back, and then ended up giving a good pass to Belial Muhammad for the basket. And that was really hard-nosed play.
We got after it on the floor a lot of times, you know, and we went on the floor at Grand Rapids, but we didn't go after it with that kind of tenacity. And we went after those loose balls tonight and came up with a whole bunch of them. And that's what it's really all about. That's exciting to see that happen, to get 20 wins on a game like this and to be playing for the conference championship. And We had some sophomores playing, some good experienced players. I mean, people that haven't seen Belial play before. He's a sophomore because he did play 2 years ago at Grand Rapids. That makes a difference. It's made a difference all year long. And Stevens is a freshman, Fletcher's a freshman, Price is a freshman. We got some good freshmen. Larry Weller's a freshman coming
Yes,
back,
you do.
you know. But having that sophomore presence in a big game like this, I think, made a whole lot of difference. And Andre was really down the stretch. He really got after the ball on the boards.
He did. He only had 8 points the first half, but he had a flurry of points, and boy, did he make some free throws tonight.
Yeah, he's 8 for 9, and all the struggles we've had with that, you know, is just it's just so good to see that hard work rewarded, and it's great.
Well, now comes the little pastry they put on the cake here, extra pastry, because we've got tournaments coming up, and you get the catbird seat in this state tournament. However, it's not an easy catbird seat because it's going to be a tough road to make the finals.
Yeah, we're going to be playing the winner of, it looks like it's going to be the winner of Glen Oaks and Grand Rapids that'll play at Glen Oaks on Monday night. Even if that combination ends up tied, Glen Oaks won that by both games against Grand Rapids by 2 each time. So either way we go, next Wednesday night, it's the quarterfinals of the state tournament. We got to win to get to the Final Four of the state tournament. And both games, we're going to be playing a team that we've split with. So it's kind of like this one tonight. We had lost one to them, so it'll be a toss-up even though we're sitting there as league champs. We know that Glen Oaks is tough. We saw that. We experienced the wrath of Glen Oaks when they got everybody healthy and playing for them. And so it's going to be a tough road, but it's going to be the same way over in the eastern side. Wayne County beat Schoolcraft, gave them their first loss of the year the other night. Schoolcraft wins that league. Mott's going to have the bye over there, so Schoolcraft and Mott will be playing Wednesday. And it'll be a great Final Four no matter who the teams are. They're there. It's at Muskegon this year, and we're going to do everything we can to be one of those 4 teams up there battling for a state championship in that tournament.
Well, congratulations on a great season and a great win tonight. It's been a fun year, and hopefully Cougars will have a chance to make some more wins here in the tournaments.
I hope so, Dave. And as usual, thanks to you and to Tom Carson for all the hard work that you guys do to make KVCC Action Basketball. I still get people coming up to me all the time, say they watch us all the time. I never see them here, but they're watching us, and it's good for the school and it's good for our players, and it's you guys do a great job, and we appreciate it.
All right, thank you very much. The Cougars finish with the conference championship with 11-3 record in the conference and 20-6 overall. With a 102-81 win over Muskegon, we'd like to thank you for watching KVCC Action Basketball this year, and hopefully we'll have a whole bunch more games in the tournament.
I hope so, Dave.